aerospace and defense manufacturing,
machines and automation,
additive manufacturing,
smart manufacturing,
global manufacturing economy.
Welcome to Advanced Manufacturing Now, the podcast for manufacturing professionals, powered by SME. From the design screen to the shop floor to final assembly, we drive the conversation about making manufacturing smarter by connecting people who are passionate about manufacturing.
Hello and welcome to Advanced Manufacturing Now, the podcast for manufacturing professionals. I'm your host, Steve Plum, Editor-in-Chief for SME Media, along with my colleagues, Kip Hansen and Amy Bryson. So on behalf of all of us, please remember to like and subscribe to our feed. So we're here today to talk about something near and dear to all of our hearts, SME Media's newest publication, Smart Shop Essentials, or SSE, which Kip is doing an outstanding job of helming. We launched the publication back in June of 2024 at the Smart Manufacturing Experience in Pittsburgh. So, the two of you were intimately involved in the planning and execution of the publication and its vision, which is to be a prescriptive guide for small and mid-sized companies along their journey as they transition to Industry 4.0. Kip, now that you have, 5 publication issues under your belt, have you noticed any trends or any surprises that you learned along the way about these companies, what their needs are, what their challenges are?
I suppose we've done several case studies now, and I think the common theme is shops overcoming the challenges with automation and Industry 4.0, Internet of Things, and so on, and really hitting some home runs as a result of it.
So the February issue just came out.
I believe that the kids say it just dropped, Steve.
That is correct. Was that an Industry 4.0 term?
It might be Industry 3.0, but that's okay. We move on.
Any common themes about the issue?
Yeah, this one's all about data, using data to improve operations and make better decisions. Kind of corresponds with the anniversary of ISO, which I think they came out in 1947 or something like that. Everyone knows ISO. So so we spoke with a shop that has collaborated somewhat with like Karen Engineering, Wolfram Manufacturing. They've done some really cool stuff and actually launched their own software products as part of their regular job shop work, which is interesting. So, and then we spoke with Fanuc. They've got I'm not going to give away the ending, but they offer a software system that is supposed to be real low cost and easy to use for any Fanuc or Fanuc compatible control. We also spoke with CG Tech about one of the things that really bothered me when I was in the shop, people single blocking their part programs on setup and, spending 15 minutes or half hour, whatever it is, to keep pushing the button to get through the program to fail safe it. And what else? And then I also spoke to a lean consultant, which is an interesting story in itself.
You mentioned the data story with Fanuc, and some of us on this call, not naming any names, me, are at an age where memory can be an issue. So it's interesting to see that that's also an issue with machines, but there's ways to back up that problem and really save on maintenance costs and embarrassing situations that may happen on the shop floor if you're not aware of something that's going on. I think there was an example where the bottom plate was left out and fluids were spilling all over the floor.
Yeah, well, Rob Taylor, the guy that contributed to the story, he tells the story that pretty much every year after the holiday break, the machines have been shut down for a couple weeks or even a week, and they come back and they've lost their minds. All the parameters are gone, and they've got to spend the shop may have to spend tens of thousands of dollars to get the machine back in working order. So that's something I hadn't ever thought of. I never backed up my controls back in the day, but boy, it's really a good idea now.
Yeah, especially now with the transition to Industry 4.0 and just the amount of connectivity and the amount of data being gathered and analyzed makes it even that much more important. Yeah, you mentioned the lean consultant who had a contrary view to some common thinking.
Yeah, that was the guy's name is Shahrukh Irani. He has a consulting firm based out of Texas called Lean and Flexible. And he emailed me, I think it was shortly after the June or August issue. And he took exception with one of the articles I wrote, because in one of those I had talked about, the advantages of lean and why shops should follow it. And he came back kind of in my face, saying you're all wrong. And he's a fan of lean, but he says it's very much geared towards automakers. It was originally the Toyota production system, and he anyway, long story short, we exchanged about 100 emails back and forth, and finally came to terms and agreed to disagree on some things. But I invited him to do a Q&A in this month's edition, and a lot of neat things. For a shop that is maybe thinking about taking a lean path, or maybe they remember when they did, and they spent weeks or a month in a conference room, hammering out processes and workflows and stuff, similar to what we're going to talk about in this month's edition, which is ERP implementations, among other things. But he pushes more of a buffet style lean approach. Pick the stuff that works for you, that pick the lowest hanging fruit, and take the small wins. And it's a lot easier, and you can see what works for you, what doesn't. And I thought it made a lot of sense.
It's good, although not every company does this, is it, to have a diversity of opinions, even if they are contrary ones, and try new things. Or as the oldsters might say, don't drink the Kool-Aid, which is a segue into another story, which Amy has. Do you have any takeaways from that?
Yeah, the drinking the electric Kool-Aid story, which is, as Kip mentioned earlier, was that case study about Wolfram Manufacturing. They're out of Austin, and they're, on its face, a typical kind of machine shop, software developer, and tech consulting firm. What's fascinating about this, and I think what is the sweet spot for Smart Shop Essentials, is that this is a real story about someone who's doing something that any shop can do and yield really tangible, really, really high impact results. They are able to use software basically to gather and analyze machine data, and then use that data and insights to make better decisions to drive production. This Nathan Byman, who's the CEO of Wolfram, says in his dealings with all these shops that he deals with over the years, most shops that are kind of like his size or small shops, they're averaging close to 30% utilization at the max. And what Wolfram has been able to achieve is somewhere between 70 and 90% utilization, which is huge. And he says people just don't, a lot of small shops don't even know what their OEE is. And the message is simple. It's, get some software and start connecting your machines, get some data, find out what's broken, and start taking, actions to fix it. And you can yield, as I mentioned, really significant intangible results. It's a great case study. It's worth checking out. And also, the designers we work with who do the layout of the print publication, they do a great job. So it's really sharp looking too. So I encourage everybody to check out not just that story, not just the February issue, but all of the issues of Smart Shop Essentials.
Yeah, Amy, if I can just add to that real quick, one thing that really struck me about Wolfram, in a typical job shop or any machine shop for that matter, every operator is responsible for one or two machines. That's their equipment. And they don't have that at Wolfram. They've got a crew of technicians, engineers, whatever you want to call them, 5 or 6 people, and they manage the entire production floor. And if one of the machines says, "Hey, I need help," which the machines do, whoever's handy just goes out there and takes care of it, because the processes are so well defined and everyone knows what's going on based on all the dashboards and all that. I thought it was just a really cool approach.
That is cool. The software is serving as this virtual supervisor. And I think small shops don't understand how relatively easy this is to achieve. So I think people, and again, it's kind of the just do it philosophy. It's pick a software. It doesn't have to be theirs. There are a lot of software solutions and platforms that can help you connect and start immediately getting data that will help you see what's really going on the shop floor. Because as Nathan said, most people don't know. They guess and they think their utilization is, it's 70 to 90 and it's closer to 20 to 30. And it's eye-opening. And there's some, steps can be taken tomorrow. There's not some massive investment or capital expenditure that needs to take place. Just start doing things. And I think from a data and analytics perspective, this issue is all about actionable tasks and strategies that can help people, start, doing business better tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it's amazing what some of these companies are doing with fairly limited resources. And it's very important, I think, moving forward to keep identifying these case studies and success stories to help the rest of the industry. And Kip, I know you're hard at work on the April issue, but can you give us a teaser about what's coming? And it was a good segue from what Amy was talking about on the previous case study, because I know software plays a big role.
Yeah, this issue is going to be focused on I'm making a series of shorter stories, one on ERP, MES, and tool management software, and so on. And I think, well, it's interesting because a couple of the experts that I spoke with said a lot of shops still don't have any ERP systems, which was interesting to me. But regardless, even if you do have an ERP system, there's as a former ERP consultant, I can say that there's a lot of gaps, especially pertaining to the shop floor. And, no insults to the ERP companies, providers out there, but I think if a shop can steer their way clear towards, a low-cost MES system, tool management software, those sorts of things, it can really kind of pull together the pieces and make the shop floor part of the whole, if you will.
All right. Now I'm really looking forward to April. And to learn more about the latest in manufacturing trends and hear more podcasts, visit us at advancedmanufacturing.org. But Amy, I'll let you have the last word. Should listeners A, like our podcast, or B, subscribe to our feed?
I'm going to go for option C, Steve, which is both.
Good answer.